So I turn my podcast on, turn the volume up, push play to hear what these dudes will say. 'Cause for romance now I know that there are only hope.
Hola, bienvenidos. ¿Listas para empezar? Bien. Okay, I figured I had to do something to spice up this intro because this movie was a big insert Mikey fart noise. It was so bad. I am hailing all the way from Conway, Arkansas. This is your stand-in host, Nathan McDivitt. Directly down on my screen, but across the county here, hailing also from Conway, we have Mr. Bradley Toon. Bradley, how are you?
Hello for our people watching on YouTube. I'm repping our sponsor, the Coffee House, tonight. So
Represent, baby.
pretty excited about
wow.
that.
Now, keeping the same initials, we're going to hop across state lines to Sue and Jeff Taylor's house, where Mr. Cannoli himself, Brandon Taylor.
Holy cannoli! I'm so glad we're here. Wow, we've got an episode for you. It'll probably be negative, but it'll be super fun. So
But I tell you what, we're gonna roll with your last name and the first name of our sound guy, Mr. Taylor, who is actually in your house and giving us the best background there ever was that could describe this episode. Taylor, how are you?
Doing all right, thank you.
Thank you for supporting this podcast very well, and also keeping Mikey muted, because that's what we all need and love. Mikey, can you? I can't hear you. It is so good to be with you guys. Mikey, give us an intro to the man, the myth, the legend that is on my screen. He's directly south of you.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he has rocked this podcast before with one of the best movies we've watched. You've Got Mail. So it was only fair that he come back and do maybe the worst thing we've ever done, Ghost. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what he's about to say, but here he is, Mr. Richard Adam Jones.
I would like for you to go ahead and officially invite me to come back for another actual romantic comedy or romantic movie.
Okay.
Not some type of scary, weird, sexy, scary, weird thing.
It might not be a rom-com, but it's like a scare care, right? Like that's a thing. That's a genre.
Is that really?
Yeah, man.
What does that mean?
I've
never heard of that.
Scare care?
Because
you're scaring and you're caring.
I'm trying to make it work, guys.
Yeah.
For those of you who have not picked up yet, we've watched Ghost with Mr. Patrick Swayze and Mr. Demi Moore. I'm sorry, Miss Demi Moore. We conquered that movie. Most of us conquered it last night. Some of us conquered it this afternoon. But we have attempted to. No, we haven't. Who am I kidding? We have not at all tried to sugarcoat this. This was probably the worst movie we've done. So this is going to be a really, really fun podcast.
I tried.
Mikey, what do you got for me?
I tried to enjoy this movie. I really did. We'll see what happens, Brandon.
I mean, we're coming off of a really kind of a ringer, right? Like
it was great.
Probably the best one according to most of us.
Yeah.
And then we get this fart fest. Bradley, help me out, man. Where are you at right now?
Who did you say?
Bradley, you.
Oh, I just watched it about 15 minutes ago. I don't know where I'm at, honestly. I did want to say Wikipedia calls Ghost a romantic fantasy thriller film. So if that's about as ambiguous as we can be, that's
romantic,
that's
thriller, and fantasy. That's a lot of genres.
A lot of genres.
It's like trying to be everything.
They mispronounced it. They should have just said it is a crap genre. That's what they should have said.
Yeah. This is going to be a train wreck, but it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good podcast.
To listen to or what?
This is also the first time that I've actually seen Brandon do a virtual background and it be the face that he wants. Usually it's inverted, it's all on his shirt. But there he is.
I am
R.I.P.
tickled to death right now to kind of be Patrick Swayze.
It's like you're his ghost.
Well,
Actually,
very
you look
fitting.
like one of the devil ghosts.
Oh my goodness. We can't have that, Richard Adam Jones.
Guys,
Sweet night.
we've got to talk about this poster, and I
I don't even want to. Somebody else.
I don't even know what we can say about this thing, but we got to try to do something. And so I think
I don't know, man.
it's only fair that Brandon starts us out. Brandon, what did you think this movie was going to be based on this poster alone?
I'm going to be honest. I'm a mildly immature 29-year-old man. So a lot of things went through my head, but I'll be honest. I just thought intimate afterlife. What else could it be? So
Yeah. Okay, I look at this and it says believe at the top, and then it looks like he's eating her flesh. So maybe it's about vampires. Like, maybe that's what this is. So that's what I got. Bradley?
Yeah, I see like maybe she's a ghost and he's a vampire, and somehow that makes sense in some weird afterlife world that they may be in. So there you go.
Nathan?
Yeah.
Oh, Jones,
Go to
come on
Adam.
in.
Yeah, go to Jones.
I was just gonna say this looks like a normal Tuesday night. Am I right? Or am I right?
Hi-oh.
if it means eating a bowl of popcorn followed by an ice cream sundae, you better believe it. I don't know why I said that. Please scratch that from the
No, it's
podcast.
staying in.
I'm an idiot.
Man.
Nate?
What
None
is
of
this
that
called?
happens.
What do you guys
I'm a
call him?
vamp.
The wizard?
The Wizard of Love,
baby.
man.
The Wizard of Love.
man.
Man, I
Killed it.
look at this poster and this is my fault for not looking at the poster before. I don't have anything. Like I would try to make something up, but I know how bad the movie was, and I just can't. I really can't fathom. I can't come up with a story based on I can't do it. I'm looking at the words. I'm really confused.
Well, even
Yeah,
that's what I was about
why
to
are
say.
those words there?
They're a lie. It says before Sam
yeah.
was murdered, he told Molly he'd love and protect her forever. He literally never said "I love you." So boldface live
Ditto.
right from the
No,
get-go.
this is how it should read. Before Sam was murdered, he told Molly he'd ditto and protect her forever. So, alas.
Alas, I've got nothing. I'm gonna let you down big time on this one. I got nothing.
Okay. Well, there we go.
That's the worst.
Folks, we tried. So I think we just quit cutting around it and we get right into it. Taylor, read us that first paragraph.
Oh, shoot. Sam Wheat, a banker, and his girlfriend Molly Jensen, a potter, renovate and move into an apartment in Manhattan with the help of Sam's friend and co-worker, Carl Bruner. One afternoon, Sam confides in Carl his discovery of unusually high balances in obscure bank accounts. He decides to investigate the matter himself, declining Carl's offer of assistance. That night, Sam and Molly are attacked by a mugger who shoots and kills Sam in a scuffle before stealing his wallet. Sam sees Molly crying over his body and discovers he is now a ghost, invisible and unable to interact with the mortal world.
That was first paragraph?
That's a lot.
That's
Throw
like
it all around.
45 minutes into the movie we just covered. So
It
That's
just seemed
good.
like 45 minutes because it was the worst opening. I'll say this: the music and the creepy attic, and then the ghost, like the top. I was like, I think I got the wrong movie. I think I just purchased the wrong movie.
Absolutely. I was in my shop. I called Mikey 30 minutes into the movie and I said, "What have you told me to watch?" Because I had never seen it before, just the iconic scenes. And then it was like, it started and it was like, Ghost. And I was like, what the heck is this, man?
So
It
I
scared
thought,
the piss out of me.
based on that, because it was like this super scary music, and it's just panning around this like deserted room, and it made me think this is going to be set in the future of what we're about to see, because their apartment's abandoned now, and now we're going to kind of go backwards and see what led to this. We've done so much time travel. I thought that's where this is going for sure.
No.
Bradley, what do you have?
No.
You just watched it.
Oh, I mean, where are we? Just at the very beginning?
Yeah, let's-
a couple positives. I thought, okay, I would use the elevator joke that they used.
Hilarious.
I thought that was
Absolutely.
fun.
And very
Great.
timely. Very timely.
Yeah, actually, kind of really timely. That ends the list of positive things. Moving on. I think that, man, it has to be said. It just has to be said. I'll take the bullet on this one. Molly's haircut is just, it's tough.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Demi Moore is an attractive actress. The haircut did not help her out
It was like,
in this movie.
I mean,
No.
I still dug it. I was still,
it looked like Hercules was married to Peter Pan. Is basically what it looked
Yeah.
like.
well,
this is-
the haircut actually gave me some conflicting feelings about Patrick Swayze, honestly.
Oh my goodness. I'll say this, and this. So, Patrick Swayze in this movie. This is. I know now. How many of you guys watched The Bachelorette? Okay. Patrick Swayze looks like Tyler from
Oh yeah.
The Bachelorette.
Tyler Cameron. Yeah.
Yep, he
We
does.
should call him. We should call him.
I wonder
He
what
does
he would
kinda
have to
look
say
like him.
about this movie. Anyway,
Brandon, what do you have to throw in there?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, what are we talking about? We talking about Demi Moore? Or,
Sure, whatever you got to say.
I want to dive into one scene in particular, and it involves some pottery. So, Demi Moore is up at 2 a.m., and she is making some pottery. It is slippery. It is slimy. It is just a
Oh my
mess.
gosh.
Don't know who would do that, but that's what she's into. All of a sudden, Patrick Swayze, who definitely can pull off having no shirt for sure.
Which is good because he did that the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
entire movie.
And he kind of slithers up behind her and kind of just starts molding the pottery with her, and it just is grimy and it's crazy. I'll be
What was
honest.
she trying to make, Brandon? Like, could you tell what the shape was of the clay?
So at first I was thinking, oh man, she's going coffee cup, but that's not clearly what it was because there's way too much pottery. It was a vase or a vase. Had to have been.
It was a vase.
Yeah. It was that.
It was a vase.
For sure.
And
It was a solid vase.
I mean, the amount of intimate tension that I felt in that movie made me so uncomfortable. It was just me and Mikey eating cookies, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and we were just a lot was happening. So
Nothing
I did
was
not care for that.
Nothing.
Well, thank God it was PG-13. Oh my
I
God.
felt it.
Nothing.
Even with there was an F word in there for being PG-13 too.
Well,
I was
You
surprised.
could
by
say
that.
one.
Like that
well, I guess you
scene,
did get one.
I didn't know much about Ghost, if anything, other than that scene. And so I
Yeah.
thought this was going to be like a big, like, plot point, like this big moment in the middle of the movie. And it's right at the beginning, and it's like 20 seconds long. Like, it just...
It's longer than that, man. It's like I got flashbacks to Nicholas Sparks. Like I was like, holy moly, they're gonna play a whole song.
Don't worry.
Well, they
I'm searching
could.
the scene.
because they owned a jukebox, which was another
Well, that was kinda
crazy
cool.
thing.
Well, I rewound it several times, and it was like 3:43, something like that.
I just missed the song. Do you know what the name of that song was?
Unchained.
Hung?
Is it Unchained Melody?
Yeah, that may be what it
that?
is. There's
Hungry
a
Eyes.
either way. There's a guy, Mike from the Subway. Have you guys seen the videos of Mike in the Subway singing that?
Oh yes.
Okay. That's I was like, oh, that's fun. I like it when he sings it. But
So Bradley took us to the job. So let's talk for a minute because we're getting there anyway. We see that
Real quick, just
Yeah.
one thing. I feel like it did. I'm going to say a few positives.
Okay.
I felt like they did do a good job, and a lot of movies miss this nowadays, of the sexual tension in that shot, and then they led up to just
Sandwiches.
giving us just enough to know that there was a sex scene.
Yeah.
Right? And like all seriousness,
Yeah.
they did
Yeah.
a great job of like leading up to it and then not being like some gratuitous sex
that's
scene.
true. Like it was.
So I will say I missed
Yeah.
that type of filmmaking as a father now. But anyway.
are we just gonna blow past the whole Demolition Team and their outfits whenever they?
Oh, incredible.
They were-
Go for it.
I mean, so you've got two shirtless men, like demolitioning. I don't even know the word. Whatever.
Demolishing.
And that's a good word too. And like kicking it down, and then Demi Moore's in overalls with a sports bra, and I'm like, there's no way. Nobody does that. Nobody Nobody demos a house like that. There's no chance. And they were also really ripped. So
They were synchronized in the sledgehammer swings as well, which is a must
Yeah,
when you're
for sure.
demolishing a house.
it more than triples the force because it's at the same time. So it's like physics would tell you it's like 63% more.
Were they singing a song while they were keeping time, or was
They were
just...
they were counting off.
Oh, they were
Wait.
counting off for sure.
That was a reference to those dwarves in that movie with Snow White. Was that not, Taylor?
that, or yeah, there are lots of things.
So
You know, forget I spoke.
let's talk
No, that
about
works.
his job. Like, and we talked about how the elevator scene, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then Swayze he finds the numbers are wrong. Anybody in this podcast, was anybody thinking that guy wasn't the villain? Because I knew from moment one, I don't trust this guy. Anybody else?
I knew when we saw him through the hole in the top of the floor at the opening of the movie, I was like, the second dude that's not Swayze, that's
For
the killer.
sure. Did anybody question it, or did you know it from the get-go?
I mean, I don't think I knew it until like he was his like they were work partners working with money. I was like, yeah, this is this is not going to end well. But props to you, Jones.
There's just something about him. I just didn't trust him. Not from
Yeah,
moment
he reminded
one.
me of Brandon.
Yeah, that's
Don't
it.
trust him at all.
Yeah, don't trust him. He had great hair though. So
I'm trying. When they're moving in though, have we already got to that point? Yeah, because he's dead.
We're
okay,
all over the
they're
place.
moving in. I did notice that like there's a shot of them moving something, and then there's like the camera changes and it's on a mirror. Did you see this scene?
Yes.
Oh, that was amazing. I was like, oh, that was really cool. So they were filming the mirror. So what we were seeing was actually the reflection from the mirror, and there's a guy moving the mirror back. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And looking back, that's like the coolest thing in the movie,
Well,
other than the goblins.
so then they went to this play, and they leave the play, and the guy that killed Batman's parents confronts him in an alley, and
Dead
like he just puts a bullet.
was he the same
puts-
guy?
Huh? Yeah. Same.
Yeah, it was Joaquin Phoenix.
Are y'all a bunch of stinking liars? Makes me sick.
Sorry, beard face.
Did he? Was that a perm that he had?
Oh,
His
for
name's
sure.
Willie. Also, my favorite character in the movie.
He's-
Well, I'm gonna pump up Willie a lot in this movie.
Lionel Richie's stunt double, I think.
Okay. Yeah. The worst criminal in the history of the world.
For some reason, I kept
very
thinking of.
bad.
Have you guys seen Waiting? Do you know that? You know the movie with Ryan
He
Reynolds? where
does
he's-
look like that
Yes.
guy.
He looks like the cook. I was like,
Louise
is
Like a
that?
skinny version of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks just like him.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
That
So
guy's
yeah,
career ended.
I think that's where we leave off. Is Swayze's fighting that guy in the street, and then he gets killed. And I mean, is that where we stopped? He's a ghost. We're officially in ghost mode.
the ghost mode.
That
The
was a
little
really
things
tricky
come
part.
down.
No, the lightning bugs infected his body, and then
All the 90s effects aside, like he like is dead, but then he's in bed, then he's in bed again and wakes
Yeah.
up, and I didn't know what that was.
Yeah,
I
that was
didn't know what
weird.
effect that had on the movie.
It was just another reason to get him with his shirt off, I guess. I think.
also
probably
just so we
right.
can bring it back to kind of what we talked about the poster. So they're walking home, and Demi Moore proposes because she's the man of this relationship. And she tells him that she loves him, and Swayze just won't say it. Like, he's too cool. He's got ditto. And, like, that's his thing. That's what he says, is just ditto. And so right before he dies, she's like, you know, sometimes it's nice to hear it. And then, bam, death. So I don't know if anybody's got anything else or if we just need to move along. Anybody?
That's about half my notes, to be honest with you. That's
I've got one positive thing to say though that I thought was really cool. So you hear the shooting of the bullet, and then all of a sudden you see Patrick running after the curly-haired guy, and you thought, dude, did they just kill Demi? And then you
thought
realize
the
he's
same
the
thing.
ghost. So I was like, that's kind of a cool way to go, 90s ghost. So just kind of tricked me, even though he's dead. It was kind of like a Sixth Sense feel.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
he,
Spoiler
he-
alert.
I thought Demi was going to die when they were moving the thing in through the window.
Yes, and he did.
And then I was like, oh no, this is how he dies. Because I still thought this was like a rom-com. And I was like, oh, that'd be funny. Like he kind of like slips out the window.
He does like kind of ninja kick it like from the
Yeah.
2x4.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I was
Christopher.
like,
Christopher, are you okay?
He'll be fine.
it's like, I'm okay, man.
All right. I think we need to move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taylor, take it away.
Molly is distraught in the days after Sam's death as Sam remains close to her. Carl comes over and suggests Molly take a walk with him. Sam, unable to follow, stays behind. Moments later, the mugger enters the apartment in search of something. When Molly returns, Sam scares their cat into attacking the thug, who flees. Sam follows the mugger to his Brooklyn apartment and learns that the man, Willie Lopez, was sent by an unknown party.
Are you kidding me with that last line? Sam follows the mugger, and we learn that Willie Lopez was sent by an unknown party. What is that? That's so dumb. Why would you write that? Why would you write that in a follow-up? I don't know. That was weird. Sorry.
Let's talk about.
I'll start.
Yeah, go.
Swayze's a horrible ghost. He's a horrible ghost. He has to learn how to be a ghost, and I think that's the dumbest thing in the world.
We haven't got there yet.
Oh. Okay.
That's good.
I mean, at the spot at the hospital when he goes through the person's head, I just like for reference, I want you all to know that they probably spent like 10% of the budget on that movie. In the 90s, dude, 1990, and doing that was like when Optimus Prime rode that T-Rex Optimus Prime through the jungle. That was like the equivalent.
Wow.
And that's how much money they spent on it. I mean, think about that.
That's crazy.
And some director was like, "This is amazing. Oh my god, we've never given a look like this ever."
Well, okay.
You see that? We went straight through his nose.
Jones,
We went right through his nose.
Jones does like editing and things like that. So I want to ask you this: as
Sure.
Taylor said, his buddy Carl comes, takes his girlfriend out of the house. That's when Willie comes in and he's creeping around. And Ghost Swayze's trying to fight him. Now, Jones,
Sure.
they would have filmed that scene, and then they would have filmed Swayze elsewhere and put him in, right? Or how would they have done that?
So they would have filmed the Willie just walking down the stairs and doing his thing, and then they would have filmed Swayze on a green screen and composited them together.
So my thought is,
Yeah.
they've told Swayze, all right, you're following Willie, you need to just try to kill him. And his fighting was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. His punches were 10 feet over his head anyway. And I mean, it was horrible. The choreography of him trying to fight this man was some of the most pathetic stuff I've ever seen in any movie.
But it was 30 years ago. I think we have to remember that.
Yeah.
It was 30 years ago.
So, I did
you're
try.
right,
I
it
did
was
try to
terrible.
Like a parody.
keep that into account. I tried to take that into account. Like when I was like, because clearly, like when the Firefly things, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna give this movie a pass on a lot of even the like I was trying to think in the 90s that might have been really cool to like pretend that the camera just went right through that guy's face.
was
Like,
cool.
Yeah, well, we're like 4 years post Ghostbusters, right? Is that right?
That's
like
true.
it's similar era, so it's like I mean, you look at the effects of Ghostbusters, you're kind of like, maybe the same guy did this stuff. I don't know.
yeah.
But
Yeah, well, when I was talking about like learning to be a ghost, I meant like can ghosts like I've not been a ghost, but I know that a ghost can walk through walls.
Okay, I thought you meant okay.
He was like,
because he hadn't accepted his fate yet. He has to accept his fate, right?
guess.
Is that what the creepy subway guy said? You have to accept the fact
you're right.
that you're a
Here's
That's
ghost.
Jones
true.
trying to make this make sense, y'all. And I respect that. Because that's usually Brandon. But this movie is garbage.
hot garbage.
Richard,
That's
we
what
could
I've
have a
been
special time here.
Brandon, what you got to throw
Hey, your
in?
role is hard, Brandon.
What?
What do you got to throw in all this?
Oh, yeah. Hey, y'all want to talk about Whippy or what?
Whippy.
Y'all want to talk about Whoopi?
We already did that with the clay scene. That was already. Is that what you're talking about?
No, Whoopi Goldberg, you comedian girl. What do you think I'm talking about? Get Get your heads out of the gutter,
We
you
haven't
jokers.
introduced her yet.
Oh,
Yeah, you're ahead of the bin there,
I
but
thought you were saying
I'll-
Whippy.
I got something else I can bring up. You know what I thought was crazy? He's in the subway system, and you got this ugly man.
Not there
And
yet.
We're not there yet either.
we're not there yet.
I don't want to
He
talk
knows-
yet. Y'all keep going.
Hold on,
What
he
if I-
follows him to because he follows him to his house. He goes in the
So
subway,
he's
follows him
on
to
the
his house.
subway. All right, Brandon.
You're
Okay.
there.
I'm
You're there.
back. So this ugly-looking guy in the subway starts beating up what's his face, Swayze, and it's
Yep.
hilarious. And then he just yells, "Get off my train!" So I just thought it was super random and unnecessary.
It was very
But you
random.
notice he breaks some glass, and so
Yeah.
you recognize
Foreshadowing.
him. It is so I like foreshadowing. So for that, he won me over a little bit. So.
Yeah.
Good job, Ghost.
I was really, I do get kind of confused on like as a ghost, is it only like walls that are vertical that you can go through? Like just because of the way he's jumping like into trains, he lands on the train, but he's gone through the wall. Like is that?
Right. No, that's true.
It's like
I'm
the,
not a
the
physics
Z-axis. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very
I got nothing.
plane, like the same plane.
So,
I
like
guess. I don't know.
The
So-
X is no go, but the Y is you can do
Makes
whatever.
sense.
That's exactly
This is
right.
this is your
Tom-
Matrix. This is concrete. This is not going to happen, right?
So if he jumped too high entering the subway, he would have boinked his head, and so
Point.
Boy, Whoopi
he
and
would
boy.
have. Yes, that's exactly it.
Bradley, you got anything?
No.
I've been there.
At this point, I
Oh,
don't, man.
guys. So
No,
he
I like
follows.
Bradley.
He follows
I like
Willie
Bradley.
home, and when he's in there, Willie's on the phone with somebody, and we realize he wasn't working alone, and so we don't know it's Carl yet, but it's Carl.
That's what they mean by an unknown party.
Yeah.
That you could have said that so much better by saying Willie was on the phone with someone who hired him to kill Sam,
Right.
rather than we find out that he's hired by an unknown party.
Which
Oh, no.
okay,
Listen,
this is
listen. Look, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. Nathan, I think we got to give them a little bit of a pass because they were writing a review or a story plot about this movie.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I apologize, Wikipedia.
so. But let's because me and Brandon debated this. Do you think he hired Willie to kill him, or just to steal his wallet? Because he wanted the
Oh, to kill
codes
him.
or something from the wallet. I don't know that he
Yeah,
meant
but
to
he-
kill anybody. You think?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely kill him.
You think
Yeah.
so?
Absolutely murder him. Yes.
Yeah, because he would have messed up. How would he get the codes?
They were in his wallet. And the guy
No,
was like,
I
"Give
know,
me
I
your
know.
wallet."
What I'm saying. Right. I'm saying, how would Carl have messed with all those codes, even though Sam would have known all the codes? Like, there's no way that he would have been able to pull off what he did with Sam being alive, right?
Well, and Sam had found, like, he had already spent so much time,
Okay.
like, he had already gone through the trouble of doing his job. I mean, Sam was awful at his job. Let's be real.
sure.
If that's my banker, I am pissed. No,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Where's my $4 million?
Right. I think you guys are right. I wanted him to like not be a complete dirtbag, but I think he was. You're right.
Who? Willie?
No, Willie's horrible. Carl, I thought he was just trying to cover, like, get that done and not kill his buddy.
It was just a classic case of white collar dudes getting in over their head,
Right.
wanting to steal a wallet, and lo and behold, you kill a guy, and then it's all downhill from there.
That also.
like Scream.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Carl's read too many comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, unoriginal. Unoriginal.
All right. You guys are right.
Got him.
Well, I think Brandon's ready for us to introduce another character. So, Taylor, if you want to move us
gosh.
along, we've got some more people to talk about.
Sure. So after leaving Willie's residence, Sam happens upon the parlor of psychic Oda Mae Brown, a charlatan pretending to commune with spirits of the dead who is shocked to discover her true psychic gift when she can hear Sam speaking. Sam persuades her to warn Molly that she is in danger. To allay Molly's skepticism, Oda Mae relays information that only Sam could know. Molly later gives Willie's address to Carl, who volunteers to investigate. She then goes to the police, who have no file for Willie, but they show her Oda Mae's lengthy one as a forger and con artist.
All right, Brandon, jump in.
Ooh.
So here's the thing about Autumn May. Look, she can hear Otis or what's his name? I can't remember.
Otis and all.
Otis.
Sam?
Sam. He just felt like an Otis to me. So I don't know why she could hear Sam, but I thought Whoopi was hilarious, and there was a ray of hope. Like, hey, we can use Whoopi, and Whoopi can help us figure out who the Willie Lopez guy is and attack. So she was just a great character, lots of fun, and I just really liked her. And, like, she's totally a scam artist, but when someone's that funny, you just want to give them a pass.
A question, and I watched this and I wanted to ask you guys: is there a chance that this movie was a prequel to Sister Act?
Well, there's a big chance.
I thought that was going to happen.
Let's say it did.
I mean, she donates $4 million. She didn't want to. She's got all these different personalities. I'm just saying,
And
it
she
could be
gave
a
it
prequel
to the
She gave it to the nuns.
That she gave it to the nuns, exactly. And then it's like the fourth movie that never got shot was her stealing the $4 million from the nuns. I don't know.
That's a lot
it's my
to
own
think
theory.
about, and so I think we need to take a second and think about it while we hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Hello, Talk to Remember friends. It's me, Haley. I've been on some podcast episodes before. Maybe you remember, maybe you don't. It's okay. But what you probably do remember is the Coffee House. We're the sponsors of this podcast. And something that we wanted to let you know, it's super exciting. We're reopening Monday, May 4th. Here's a little information about that. So we will be open to in-dining, limited capacity, but we will also be offering curbside. So just give us a call at the Coffee House and tell us you want it curbside, and we'll bring it to you. Look out for some themed drinks that we're going to be doing with the guys from Talk to Remember. Follow us at the Coffee House Franklin on Instagram. Our address is 144 2nd Avenue North. If you get confused, there's a little construction going on. See the construction? You're at the Coffee House. That's the Coffee House in downtown Franklin.
And we're back. All right. Well, it's good to hear that the Coffee House has got things going again. And we need to get things going too. So I'm going to throw it to you guys. Bradley, you got anything for us?
Just one real quick thing on Whoopi. It's like when you find out the Easter Bunny or Santa's not real. When I just found out that those psychic stations are just con artists that use generic names and terms, it really messed me up. Who would have known?
Wait.
I wish you had another day to process
Not all
that,
of
man.
them are like that, though. I mean, all the ones I've been
I know
through.
a guy.
They told me things about myself that no one else can know.
Yeah.
That was an
I
awful
feel like
mine.
Brandon's probably dabbled with the psychics.
Hey,
I'll be honest.
I have a serious. Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
No, be honest with us.
No, I want you to say first what you
No,
said.
I'm taking this in another direction. You go ahead.
I was just going to say I've dabbled in the dark arts, but I lost my mojo. I haven't dabbled that much, but a little.
Wow.
Don't tell me more.
Dipped your toe
Please,
in the Merlin's
Nate,
pool.
cut him off.
Okay, so on a serious note, this is the last thing I wrote down on my notes. I'll prove it to you. It's right there. Right there. What are we supposed to think at this point in the movie? Who, as a viewer of this movie, first of all, who is their target audience? Am I one of them? Second of all, what am I supposed to think? Am I supposed to want these, Patrick Swayze and Mr. Demi Moore to get back together again? Or am I supposed to want, what? I have no idea. I wrote that down. What am I supposed to think in this movie? What am I supposed to want? And I was curious what you guys thought.
I mean, I think, Swayze, when he died, there was a lot he didn't say. And by a lot, I mean, it was I love you.
Yeah.
He never said it.
Ditto,
So
man.
I think this whole movie, we're just hoping that Whoopi can, from this point on, he gets his closure. Maybe that's the thing, is the romance part where people were hoping that he got his closure.
You're talking about the dead guy? The dead guy got his closure?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
I
sense
mean,
now.
that's all I can come up with.
That makes sense.
You mean the ghost? The ghost? Is that what you're talking about?
The titular character.
Can I pose a question, a point of conversation? So, if this was done in 2020, and it was recasted. And so we recasted, Swayze, Demi, Carl, or whatever his name is, all the characters, and we used VFX from now. One, who would you cast? I mean, I just want to know. But then two, would it be a more interesting movie to us?
So me and Brandon, this is crazy because we talked about this, and he said if you made this movie today, people wouldn't watch it. It'd be such garbage. I don't know who would be the main characters. I think it would probably be somebody like, because Swayze was known for Dirty Dancing too, but he's also like this dreamy guy. So you're probably going to get like a Channing Tatum, would be my thought. Really? Girl, I don't know. I would think. Girl, I don't know. But Whoopi, we're going to flip it on its head, and it's going to be Kevin Hart.
Oh, yes. Kevin Hart or
That's
Adam
how they're
Sandler.
going to do that.
That's what I would want.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know about the young Demi. That may be like one of those boys from
What's
the It movie.
Girl from Trolls? Who's the girl from Trolls?
Anna Kendrick?
Anna Kendrick.
That could work.
Yeah.
And then the Swayze character, I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there. I think it could be like, who's the guy from Aquaman?
Oh,
A Momoa. That's good.
Or The Rock. I mean, that would be like, you're kind of going a different direction. But I think
that movie's already made.
They would make it a rom-com.
That's called Jumanji. And
Yeah.
It sounds like
I think I would watch it.
kill.
I think I would watch it.
I would watch it. Absolutely.
For sure.
I think
I'd watch
Yeah.
it.
But this was horrible.
Who would play Dracula?
Which one
Frank
was Dracula?
Barone? Not Frank Barone. Who's the other? Who's Ray Romano's brother?
I know who you're talking about.
Robert.
Robert
Barone.
Yeah.
Yes, Robert.
That dude was so goofy looking.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the plot. You think?
Yeah. So we talk about Whoopi and how Whoopi goes and tries to convince her that she's talking to her dead husband. She lets her in. Whoopi tells her all these things. And then she leaves. And then Carl comes and he brings Japanese apple pears.
Pears.
Which was the most random gift I've ever heard of. I had to write it down.
Remember when you were trying to give him just the slightest bit of like credit when he's trying to sleep with his best friend's widow? Like, remember when you were trying to give the leadest? Maybe he didn't want to kill him.
He did say she loves Japanese apple pears, so it's one of her favorite things.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I would think.
Honestly, if I die and one of you doesn't show up to Shay with Japanese pears and tries to sleep with her, I would be offended in my afterlife. Honestly, so out of the 5 of you, Bradley, I'm pinning this one on you, buddy.
Hey, man.
I expect you to show up.
Listen. No comment. No comment.
Oh God.
My wife not good enough for you?
No, my wife was good enough for me.
That is boy.
This isn't about your wife,
well played, Mr. Toon.
Woo!
Oh, this is funny.
We're going to some weird places, boys.
We are. Speaking of weird places, Demi goes to the police, whatever, and she's like telling her account. She's like, "Hey, this woman told me that my dead husband, did the whole. She told me things that nobody else would know deal." And at one point, I did think that the police officer lady, I was like, she's in on it. This is a whole bamboozlement. Like this police officer's in on it, and Carl's in on it. Everybody's in on it. Everybody's screwing Swayze out of his everything, and that wasn't it. I was giving it way too much credit.
Wait, bad pop.
Also, the guy cop, like, he's pretty famous. I don't know if you guys, like, I couldn't tell you his name to save my life, but like he does a lot of voice acting.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you ever saw any of King of the Hill, he's the bald guy. Like, he does all those type things.
Isn't he also from The Office? Not like The Office, the show,
The
but
Office Space.
Yes. He's
He was in there. He's done some big stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find him.
Stapler. Milton.
And he's, he's in and out of the movie like that. So maybe he was nobody at that point, but he was the pretty decent sized actor. So, with what we covered in Taylor's synopsis, have we gone back to the train ghost, or is that coming?
It's coming. I've got like a 2-sentence paragraph.
Let's just move on.
Give me train
Let's jump
ghost.
along.
Give me train ghost.
So meanwhile, Sam follows Carl and is devastated to learn he and Willie are working together. Carl was laundering money for drug dealers, and he had Willie rob Sam to get his apartment key, which Carl uses to obtain Sam's book of passwords and transfer the money into a single account under the fictitious Rita Miller. Sam learns from a violent poltergeist haunting the subway system how to use energy to move objects. Sam then persuades Oda Mae to help him thwart Carl. Before Carl can transfer the money for his clients, Oda Mae impersonates Rita Miller, closes the account, and reluctantly donates the $4 million cashier's check to charity. As Carl desperately searches for the money, Sam reveals his presence by typing his name on the computer keyboard. Carl goes to Molly, who reveals she spotted Oda Mae closing an account at the bank. Carl and Willie go to Oda Mae's place, but Sam warns her and her sisters to take shelter. When Willie arrives, Sam spooks him, causing him to flee into the street in a fit of panic before being struck and killed by an oncoming car. Shadowy demons emerge from the darkness to drag Willie's ghost down to hell.
Is that where they went?
The Dementors came and got it.
I didn't know where they were going. I was confused at where they were going.
The Dementors, they come in and they just.
That's what they look like.
Oh my gosh.
The way whoever wrote this Wikipedia review, the first paragraph was half the movie, the second paragraph was like 5 minutes, and now we've got the end. There's barely anything left. But Brandon, what do you got with all this? Anything?
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could say, and there's a lot of thoughts to be had. However, I think that they did look like Dementors, and that made me glad, because I think that this movie could use a little bit of magic, because it kind of lacked it. And
it was all about magic.
No, ghosts are real, all right? They're real. Look, they happen. And I thought, can we talk about the train scene yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, I thought it was really cool when he basically goes to a disinformed Mr. Miyagi, and he shows him how to move things. And this is what changes it all for me, because Patrick Swayze still wanted to use Whoopi as kind of like his avenue to defeat the bad guys. But if it had been me, I probably would have just committed ghost murder, because he could have just grabbed a glass or an axe or something.
Well, not up till this point.
Yeah, but now he can.
Learned from.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
I'd have been. You get that dude in there. I would have just shoved him. I'd have just boop, boop, gone.
Yeah, but then the Dementors would have come for you.
Well, no,
it's true.
But here's the thing: they wouldn't have, because he's been a good boy.
Oh.
Look, sometimes you got to punish evil, and you got to get them out of there, and because you leave people like that around too long, you're going to turn the world upside down. So I think it was a good move. I think it was nice that Whoopi put that money to those nuns, and that was cool. And
when you say her name, it just makes me laugh.
Y'all ever had a Whoopi pie?
Okay.
If you got a nuke, get a Whoopi pie. And it's two bread-like things naked. And you get cream in the middle. It's a Whoopi pie. Really good. If you like marshmallows, you'll like it. So, Mike, I think that's all I have to say for the rest of this episode. I'm good.
Oh no, you'll be back.
I did. So just so I'm understanding this right. Again, I'm not familiar with the learning to ghost deal, but
right.
So you have to channel all your pissed offness in order to move something. Am I understanding that correctly?
That's what the poltergeist Mickey taught.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to the scene when in his apartment. My man Willie has busted up. He's clearly going to hurt his wife or widow, but he was just only kind of upset. He wasn't quite pissed off.
The poltergeist said, "You have to really focus," and then Swayze said, "But I am," and then he said, "No, but really." So there's more to it, Nate.
You've got to feel it in the lower half of your stomach, and I know that feeling. And so you got to get it in there real deep. He pointed to his belly, and if he didn't get it there, didn't stand a chance.
Yep.
Also, that train poltergeist, like from everything he did and everything we know about him, he seemed like he was a bad dude who was probably going. There's the whoopie pies. Probably going to hell. But he still took the time to help Swayze learn how to be a ghost.
He's an unsung hero. And why did he forget? He forgot his name. Why did he forget his name? I don't know why he forgot. That's the only thing that don't make sense.
What, say it again.
Well, like he forgot at the end. He's like, "Who are you? Who are you?" And like the ghost forgot who Swayze was at the end. Did y'all not remember that?
He said, "Who sent you?"
Oh, thank you, brother, for saving me. I didn't understand. Plot hole. I'm gonna call it plot hole.
Plot hole.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything? Because Taylor covered a lot right here. They go back to the bank.
Yeah. So so if we go a little bit further back too, you go back to Whoopi in her little seance room, and now she can see a lot of spirits, right? And it was super weird because that dude just like drifts inside of her and now is possessing Whoopi Goldberg. So that's a new trick that ghosts can do, apparently.
Do we need to wait
you
for
get
Nate?
that. Do what?
Nate gave us the timeout. I don't know if that means that we need.
Oh no, he just had to run real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know the culture.
Then he goes to the subway, and I observed, first of all, this is like, I know I should have seen this earlier, but I was like, this is definitely not a love story. And we get to the subway, and you get this gargly poltergeist that just says, you can start touching things if you want it bad enough. And so now he wants it bad enough. So he starts flicking bottle caps, and suddenly he can beat up people. What else did I have here? How does she get her ID through at the bank? That is $4 million. He's like, can I get a little ID, please? And this Rita Miller is a fictional person. So what kind of identification? That's the plot hole that got me. I was like,
I
how
never
does she
even
walk
thought
away
that through.
with $4 million?
1990 was a different time. Listen, this is the time of Blank Check. I mean, if you remember that creepy movie,
Man.
that's a super creepy movie.
I do remember that creepy movie.
Yeah, but I mean, Blank Check, man. You could do anything in the 90s. I mean, I was 4 at the time, and I tried to cash a $4 million check. So, cheers.
How'd that go?
It threw.
Sitting on it still. How do you think about this house?
You're right, though. I didn't even think through that. That was a crazy. And I really thought with Demi in there, she was going to blow the whole thing and make it, but they didn't play that out. Like, they just let everything happen. There was no real, like, let's mess the plot up. It's just connect the dots so we can get to the end of this movie.
It was strange. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Have we killed Cornelius or whatever his name was yet?
Otis
Carl?
Cornelius.
Have we made it
No,
there?
that's the last thing that happens.
But that's the last thing I'll
We
say.
kill-
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is just, at this point, Sam is so overpowering. Like, you could do whatever you want. You can touch things. You're the Invisible Man. You can go punch anyone in the face. I mean, like, it's now a point there's no struggle. There's no competition. He obviously kills Willie. He's going to kill other people. Like, it's just, he suddenly gets so powerful, there's nothing that can stop him. And it's
I'm trying to remember how they killed Willie.
2 cars.
What did they do to
he
him?
ran in the street, and then the car hits him.
It was a car sandwich.
So he
And the
never
Shadow
actually
Gremlins take
kills
him away.
somebody. Yeah, he never actually
No,
kills
that's
somebody.
true.
Ah, you're right. True.
Yeah.
If Mikey Blagg were to be a serial killer, I think this is how Mikey would kill people. Would be like, boo, and then they jump out in traffic on their own volition. So it's like, he's a mass murderer, but not really.
I'll take that. World.
That's good.
All right, yeah. So Willie's dead. The Dementors have come. They've took him to the bad place.
Azkaban.
And I think at this point,
Montego Bay.
this is where we're running back. Oh no, we haven't even talked about. So Whoopi, with what he talked about, has he entered Whoopi's body yet?
Not yet.
No, next
Okay,
paragraph.
that's coming.
Oh, this
All right,
is
all right.
getting to get
Yeah,
steamy.
let's go there. Let's read that next paragraph.
What a tease.
All right. Sam and Oda Mae return to the apartment where, by levitating a penny into Molly's hand, he convinces Molly that Oda Mae is telling the truth about him. Oda allows Sam to possess her body so he and Molly can share a slow dance. Carl breaks into the apartment, but Sam is too exhausted from the possession to fight Carl. The women escape onto the fire escape to a loft under construction, but Carl catches Oda and holds her at gunpoint, demanding the check. Sam recovers and pushes Carl off of her, prompting Carl to take Molly hostage and plead with Sam for the check. Sam disarms Carl and attacks him again. Carl tries to escape through a window and tosses a suspended hook at Sam, but the hook swings back, shattering the window and causing it to slide down, fatally impaling Carl with a glass shard. The shadowy demons who came for Willie return to claim Carl's ghost for hell.
Is that the end?
There's one more sentence.
No, there's another paragraph about lights and walking to them.
Okay. Should we just wrap the whole... Read the end.
So Sam asks if the women are all right. Molly is now able to hear him, and a heavenly light shines into the room, illuminating Sam's presence. Realizing that it is time for him to go with his task now completed, he and Molly share a tearful goodbye and one final kiss, having finally a proper closure between them. Sam thanks Oda for her help, and then walks into the light and onward to heaven. The end.
So, they've killed Willie. They go upstairs. Sam has so many things that he wants to say to Molly. There's just so much he has to get off his chest. So he enters Whoopi's body, and then he doesn't say a daggone word. They just hold each other.
It was,
forever.
and it was very. Are you guys familiar with ASMR?
No.
Okay, so there's a YouTube sensation that is called ASMR, and it's just people like just doing stuff next to a mic, and it's supposed to have this auditory sensory meridian response. So you get like chills and all this stuff. It was just her just going like, and you're like, I was like, oh man. I was like making sure the kids weren't around. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, and then it's just how awkward. Oh, look who it is.
Sorry, we had a nightmare. He had a nightmare. So
Was it about
Ghost stories?
I think so. I think so. Sorry.
So,
have you talked about him possessing Whoopi?
yes,
That's where
and
we're
how
at
he
right
wanted
now.
to just say everything he ever wanted to say and then doesn't say a word.
Can we rewind like 2 scenes to where he gets a penny to float and suddenly everything
do.
makes sense and
Yeah.
everything is wrapped up because the penny runs along the door and is suddenly just floating in midair and it all is brought to light at that point. I don't know. I just want to make sure we knew that this wasn't the first time she actually interacted with Sam.
Right, that's true.
Anyway.
That's true. Yeah,
We keep
Brandon,
going.
come on, jump in.
Oh yeah, man, dude. Tell you what, pennies start flying, and you're like, "This is for real. He's a ghost." And I'll say this. Here's the thing. So he enters into Whoopi's body, and he's sitting there. They're holding each other, and they show it as if it's Sam and Demi holding each other, but really it would be Whoopi and Demi. You know, I don't like that. Look, it made me uncomfortable. So there was a lot of tension, which is not bad. You want tension in a love movie, but it's unrealistic tension because she wanted Sam. If I'm Demi, I don't want her. I want Sam, and I'm still not convinced. I did like at the end when Carl? He gets hit by that window glass, and it just bam. I'm glad that it wasn't Patrick that had to take him down. And I thought it was cool. Like, hey, he's glowing, the light's shining. He finally says, "I love you," which is really cool. And then Demi coolly looks at him in her pixie haircut and says, "Ditto." So kind of what comes around goes around, Pat. And then floats off to heaven. Like, that's kind of cool. Like, little hope at the end. But overall, I would say fairly shallow and really not very good. So, that's all I have. I'm just talking good. Go ahead.
Oh, so all of a sudden, because of this experience, now Mr. Demi Moore is able to hear Patrick Swayze talk, right? Did we talk about how that happened? Did you all catch
we
how
did.
I don't understand why select people can hear it. Because here's the thing, Whoopi can hear him, and she's a frog. Now Demi can hear him, and she's just a woman. I mean,
it's just when you believe,
Just a
it's in your
woman.
gut. Like when you kick cans, you just believe hard enough.
Like, what was the Tom Hanks Christmas movie? And we can finally hear the bells.
Oh, Polar Express.
Polar Express. That's all it was.
Ah.
I was gonna say A Wonderful Life, but hey,
Yeah. So did we
Castaway?
did we properly put this to bed?
So we have. I mean, we can wrap up like the end
I
here.
have
Jones.
two things. I have two things. So one,
Yes.
did anybody watch Coach? That series? It's from the late
Yes.
80s, early 90s. Tell me the intro wasn't shot by the same
For sure.
guy. Exactly. It was like a 5-minute intro, which was crazy. And then two, I will say, and this is a positive, I'm just trying to redeeming qualities. All of the ghost effects, quote unquote, if you watch the BTS, which I don't know if you guys have or not, it is insane how they did all of that practically. Like they did like the guns and the like all this stuff turning around and like I mean, it was like the faucets were turning on and they had all these mechanisms that they made so that it could be done practically. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that or not, but it's pretty cool.
No, that's. I wish I would have.
That would have probably been a lot more fun to watch than what we watched. I needed something other than the actual movie to be good. What did you think about Carl's death? Like, kind of
That's the last thing.
anticlimactic, right?
Yeah, that there's
Very
a couple
graphic.
things. So
Very graphic.
Carl's in there. He's got Demi Moore, and she's kind of his hostage. She's how he's getting out of here. He's got a gun to her head. Ghost Swayze takes the gun, throws it, but then 2 seconds later, Carl's got that gun again. There was just so much where I was like, they're not even trying anymore. Let's just cut his head off with some glass, end this thing, finally say I love you, put the bow on it, send everybody
Send it
home
off to
happy.
heaven.
That little ghost kiss at the very end where
Yeah.
they froze for
Oh my
like
gosh.
75 minutes, just right there, where he's translucent. She's trying to keep that pucker like perfect. It was really awkward.
it
was
reminds
very
me, Bradley, of
extremely
my first kiss. We didn't make
Yes.
Go on.
it. If you go to kiss a woman, this is what you need to do, everybody. You need to open
Take
your
notes.
Hold on.
Wait,
I need to get my notepad.
wait. Yeah.
Get your notepad.
Thank you. Can you send me
have-
those notes, Nathan?
I have kissed a person before, but not many.
This is going to make this whole episode worth it.
So if you go in with your lips pursed together, you ain't gonna make it. She's not gonna want to kiss your face. So what you do is just slightly open your mouth and you just go.
That was slightly.
Guys,
It's like a whale
gotta-
shark getting plankton.
you open your mouth and just a little, just go.
Are we talking like anchovies and SpongeBob a little bit? Or are we talking like?
You want to be able, because what you want to do is you want to grace your lips against it. You want to move them in a downward motion across and brush them together. Because if
Is that
it's
what we
just
want to do?
two still lips, it's like two stars passing the night. You gotta connect and you gotta brush. Like you're taking a Bob Ross, hey, just almost like a fish gasping for water. Just
Yeah.
This is happening.
so
If it doesn't go right, it's just a happy little mistake.
Wow.
that's well.
I've been married for almost it'll be 13 years in like 10 days, and I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
It's curious.
Well, you may be having some more kids, Adam. Hey-oh!
Oh gosh.
Oh man! Thank you for that. Thank you for all of that. I think we can talk.
I'd like
We
to
can wrap
officially
this
ask-
up.
I'd like to officially ask Brandon to bring the Asian pears to Shay after my passing. So, Bradley, you're off the hook.
Good call.
You're off the hook.
I will not disappoint, Richard.
Bradley's like, oh my goodness. How was I going to deny this guy his dying wish? How was I going to do that? How would I explain to Beth?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
We have
kill
done this
thing.
movie justice. We have done it justice. So let's wrap it up. Let's give our final thoughts, our all that crap. Bradley, you just watched it. Let's let you
It's
go
fresh.
first.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Final thoughts. The end of the movie. Here's how things are brought together. Carl gets to take a trip to heaven. No, he gets to go to heaven. And the reason he was still in the middle ether is because he had unfinished business. The unfinished business was avenging his death by not murder, but leading to the death of the two men. And once those two's men's lives were ended, and the shadow gremlins had effectively taken them to hell. Now he has peace, and he can kiss his bride and go to heaven. I just want to let everybody let that sink in.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous watching it, as you just said.
So,
it's equally as ridiculous, but yes.
That would be my final thoughts. Favorite character. Willie is my favorite character.
Really?
He is the worst perm criminal of all perm criminals of all time. He has moments, 3 at least, that he could end everything. Now, I'm not trying to condone, obviously we all know where our hearts are at. He could have taken out Demi Moore in the apartment, and a cat scratches his face, and so he decides to sprint out of the apartment. He's gone.
Right.
He's gone.
He has a gun, right?
Yeah, and as soon as even as he murders Patrick Swayze, he decides to just take off, just get out of Dodge. The one who is attacking him is now gone, so now that he could he just sprints. He just sprints away, and then there was another scene where he's just useless, man. Obviously he kills Patrick Swayze, but after that, the only thing he's great at is running away. Although,
That's true.
More guy friendly, you got to make this a lot more everything friendly. But I like if guy friendly isn't an option, adding a little scene, adding a little twist. When Willie dies getting hit by that car, he wakes up, and instead of Sam being like, "You're dead, Willie. Let the shadow gremlins or demons take you away," instead he's like, "Join me. Let me take down Carl with you." And suddenly we have 30 minutes of a buddy cop kind of deal.
Oh,
Willie
yeah.
and
Redeeming
Sam
quality.
are suddenly after Carl. And so that would have made it really cool. And then at the very end, the spinoff is a buddy cop movie with them. Swayze gets a perm, and it's a whole thing. It's amazing. Butterfly
And what's
Tat-
crazy is if that would have happened, with everything, I wouldn't have been that shocked.
Right.
It wouldn't have been that far off course. But
You're
go ahead.
100% right. So butterfly tattoos, I gave it 0.75 butterfly tattoos.
Wow.
0.25 for my boy Willie. 0.25 for Whoopi. And then 0.25 for the nuns. And that's my
That's very gracious of you.
good.
that's my summation
good.
of the movie right there.
Jones, you wanna give us yours?
Yeah, so I mean, just what overall thoughts or actually
Your final thoughts, if you've got a favorite character, and then the butterfly tattoo. What you would do to make it a better movie too, if you want.
so this is a tall order. One, I would say,
I'm not a miracle worker, my kid.
I mean,
I just feel like if I throw it to him on his feet, he can get there. He can get there.
yeah. I mean, I think filming it nowadays, that movie would have more of a chance nowadays than it did in the '90s, right? I think I would go ahead, and this is going to be controversial with Brandon, but I would have bumped it up to an R rating, made it a little bit more graphic, because it's just maybe you'll make some money off of people that just like those type of movies. Beyond that, man, it was bad. It was confusing. Of course, I just went off of what I thought I knew about the Ghost, or about Ghost, and I thought it was going to be kind of rom-com, oh, her boyfriend's like a ghost, type of deal, like a sitcom almost. It was not that at all. So, I'm kind of at a loss of words, man. I think
Who did you think was the best character? Who would you say was the best? That your favorite?
Who was
anyway?
the best character? I would say my favorite character was definitely Whoopi Goldberg. I thought she was the greatest because I think we got to see a full character arc of Whoopi going from a con artist to being somebody who actually had redeeming qualities, and then at the very end, she even became a guide in a spiritual sense of all right, Sam, it's time to go, that type of deal. So, yeah, I mean, Whoopi was definitely my favorite. What else do you say about that movie?
All right. So, butterfly
Butterflies.
tats.
So I don't think I understand the butterfly thing completely.
So
I've heard Bradley describe it in other podcasts, but I don't. Can I get a quick rundown on that?
So our first movie we ever did was A Walk to Remember, because that's where we got our name. Mm-hmm. And in that movie, he gives her a temporary butterfly tattoo. And so instead of going stars, we always just do the tats 1 through 5, unless you're Brandon, and he'll go millions. So, what do you think?
So 1 through 5, obviously, I'm going to say it like this. I would say from now on, when I rate other movies, I would say on a butterfly scale of 1 to 5, 1 being Ghost and 5 being You've Got Mail. That's where I would be at. So it would be the lowest possible. It hasn't cocooned yet at all. So it's not a tattoo at all. Definitely not.
Very good.
So I think 0.75 is very generous.
That's good. Okay. All right, Brandon.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of analyzing too, and I'm with Jones. That character arc of Whoopi was just great. Favorite character, just the transformation, just boom, bada bing, love it, love it, love it. She also made me laugh, and she wore costumes. I love costumes, so anybody who wears costumes, I think pretty cool. As far as the movie, yeah, I just honestly, other than Hunchback of Notre Dame, where Demi Moore plays Esmeralda, I'm not a massive Demi Moore fan. And she's pretty good in A Few Good Men. So I don't know. I just didn't care for that character a lot. I'm sorry, Demi.
G.I.
And then
Jane.
I wasn't a big fan of Patrick either. I don't really like Patrick Swayze in either of the movies I saw him in. He just is a little smug to me. But, maybe he was a great guy. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't care for the movie. Wasn't great. Didn't have a lot of depth. Didn't have a lot of redemption to me. Pretty shallow. And so, it was pretty rough to get through. Mikey, I have to give a song, don't I?
Oh, yeah, you need to sing the theme song for this movie.
So, I found one. And it's for all you Cher fans out there. I did a talent show one time when I was in the 5th grade, and I danced to this song.
Jeff Taylor's going to love this.
And it's called Believe. And this
You
is
got to
how-
do the dance too, Brandon.
Yeah, come
This
on,
is
dude.
how it
Back up.
goes. No matter how hard you try, you keep pushing me aside, and I can't break through. There's no talking to you. I'm going to skip some lines. Do you believe in life after love, after love, after love? I can feel something inside me saying, I really don't think you're strong enough, no. Do you believe in life after love, after love, after love? My dad is hearing me sing this. I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough, no. So I just thought that song was really fitting because there was life after love.
Wow.
I'm going to recut a trailer for this movie to that song.
Please, dude.
Do you believe in life after love? And it's them flicking the beer top in the subway system.
Oh my god.
I mean,
But butterfly tattoos, I give it a 1 for Whoopi. She deserves 1, and no one else.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll go.
Okay.
All right. So for me, my favorite character is the train poltergeist.
Yeah.
It's so just, it makes no sense. Like, it's just so out there, even for this movie. But like that he wants to kill a dead Swayze the first time to the point where he wants to teach him the ways of the dead. Like the redemption story for that cigarette-loving poltergeist was just bar none. Bar none. It's the biggest redemption story of the movie, in my opinion, more so than Swayze. And so when I talk about the unsung hero, you might think that I go with that guy. It's the same one. It's not. It's not him. You may think that it would be Whoopi, who had lied to people her entire life, and then all of a sudden she's finally living the truth that she's been portraying, but it's not her either. It's nobody in this movie. The unsung hero of this movie was garbage. This movie was one of the, like, I'm going to go ahead and go my final thoughts, too, as I get to the unsung hero. We have done a lot of movies on this podcast, and I take great notes because I want to make little quips and do things like that. I quit a quarter of the way through this thing. I can't think of maybe 2 other movies we've done where I looked at the time and I was like, my gosh, I wish this would end. Like, I hate even being here. But this is an Academy Award winning movie Whoopi Goldberg won Best Actress or Supporting Actress for this. This won Best Original Screenplay. Now, let me tell you what other movies came out that year. You had Dances with Wolves. You had Dick Tracy. Goodfellas. The Hunt for Red October. Home Alone. And this movie gets Best Original Screenplay. So, no matter what we think about it, somebody was doing something right. So my unsung hero for this fart fest of a movie, this straight butt juice on film, is the casting director. Because somehow they got Swayze, Demi Moore, and Whoopi Goldberg to agree to do this movie. And that's a feat upon itself. So bravo to that person. As far as butterfly tattoos, I'm going to give this a caterpillar. I don't even think it's spread its wings yet. It's trying to get there, but it can't. So that's where I'm at. Nathan, take it away.
All right. So here are the 5 awards that it was up for the Academy Awards. The first one was film editing. Now, Jones, you may have a better idea. I haven't seen all these movies. It was nominated. Dances with the Wolves actually won. Okay, so it was nominated for best film editing. But for what you said, and given that it was the '90s, not too shabby, huh? Am I right in saying that? So maybe that Academy Award was worth it.
Here's the thing. Editing's different from visual effects because editing is just storytelling, and I would say the fact that this was put in the same realm as Dances with Wolves, to me, like that, I think it just shows how political. That's another talk for another time. But the Academy Awards are very political.
That's another talk to remember.
That's another talk to remember.
Film editing was one, and it did not win. Dances with the Wolves won. Actress in a supporting role, Whoopi won, and I think that was fine. I don't. The movie was awful, but I do think that Whoopi did a really good job.
Spot.
That was a good one. Let's see, music. Dances with Wolves actually won. But it was also nominated for that, which, if I remember correctly, there was only one song over and over again every time. It was the Hungry Eyes song.
Don't forget when ghosts come up and it was like, dang. That's what sold it.
That counts.
Now, Home Alone was also on the best original score, which Home Alone had some good music from what I remember. Yeah. But it didn't win. Dance with the Wolves won, which I don't think anybody's complained about that. Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Picture. You can guess who it won. It was not The Ghost. It was Dance with the Wolves. So, but it was still nominated.
The Academy gets Costner, man. They get him.
And then the best writing, which is screenplay written directly for the screen. That's what it won. And I don't know what that means actually. The screenplay written directly for the screen. What does that actually mean? Do you all know?
I think it means it's not an adaptation from a theater play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
so
like
it's
a book. It was written purely to be a movie. Yeah.
Well,
wish you could really tell.
Absolutely. Clearly. Had this been a book, this never would have become a movie.
Yeah, there have been so many adaptation issues.
No,
wouldn't come off right.
So my final thoughts, I would sum up like this. I don't know if I'm more pissed off that I spent $5 renting this thing or that I spent 2 hours watching it. I'm really not sure. I'm sad that $5 that I have will go to somebody who did some ghost stuff. I'm really sad that they'll get some pennies from me. I'm really sad. I thought it was awful. I didn't enjoy it at all. The only thing would have made that better is if I could have watched it with you guys. Like if we could have watched it together and then done this podcast live, I think that would. Well, this is entertaining for sure. I don't know how else that could have been entertaining. More entertaining.
You guys got to do a live podcast.
That'd be kind of cool. Almost like that show. What were you talking about? That
Science.
Yes,
Theater,
that one.
2000, whatever.
So I hated this movie. I did not enjoy it, not one bit. I didn't watch Glitter, and so I can't speak to Glitter. But I would watch Lake House 24-hour marathon for an entire day before I'd watch this again. True story. I didn't enjoy it. I did, and maybe some of it was because I expected. I haven't really seen a ton of Swayze movies, and I think I expected more. I thought he was a horrible actor. I thought I thought it was so bad. His fight scenes were just awful. Him as a ghost, like learning to be a ghost, him realizing that he's dead, like, oh, it was just so bad. It was so bad in my opinion. Demi Moore, I think she was fine. I think again, honestly, if she had a different haircut, I thought I would think probably a lot different. But I just was really distracted by that. Whoopi was really great. But and so besides Whoopi, she won an Academy Award. So to say that she was the best character, like I think that's fine. So I'll go another way. I really do think Carl was a good, like he did a really good job at being a douche. And like I think although it was 20 minutes in when I was like, yeah, that guy's probably the guy who did. Like I think from an acting perspective, he acted fine. So he's probably my favorite character. Well, no. I'm not even, you cannot put favorite in anything. My favorite character was the credits, because when the credits came up, I knew that I'd finished. So I'd say that's my favorite character.
So the Dementors, when they were pulling everyone away.
So I'll say I've already gave my final thoughts. It's a horrible movie. Would never watch it again. Would rather watch Lake House 24-hour marathon than I would. Here's what I would say about the comp. Like what three movies could you kind of mesh together? The one is kind of a movie I'm not sure anybody has seen. Maybe you have. Have you seen Ghost Town with Ricky Gervais? Have y'all seen that movie? I can't remember who the girl is in. Maybe it's Tia Leone.
Yes.
That's a really good movie. But it's this whole idea of like not everybody can see him, and there's an element of this ghost-ish town. P.S. I Love You. I feel dirty even saying that, but that's about the closest from a movie that we've done where you've got the ghost of well, they weren't even married in this, but the widow, whatever. Like you've got this whole ghost and widow thing going on. But I think the best for me is Dinner with the Schmucks. Like if you put Dinner with the Schmucks, P.S. I Love You, and Ghost Town in a blender, and then you put it all together and spit it out, and then fed that to a hungry dog on the street somewhere, and it got hit by a car. What's left right there after like 3 days of being run over by a car, that would be this movie of what's left over. So that's probably the best way I could sum up this movie. A big waste of time.
Get a high rating here?
No. I feel like so Adam said it was like in the cocoon stage. You called it the caterpillar. I'm just gonna go flat out 0. Like I'm gonna be that guy. I thought Whoopi was good, but I think this movie was just so bad to give it a number. Like I think giving it a 0 gives it is more true.
Disrespect.
Yeah, it's more disrespect than it deserves, and it gives me like maybe a nanosecond back of my life that I lost in the 2 hours that I watched this movie.
Y'all, this is a talk to remember first, because even with Brandon and his not willing to abide by the rules of the game, this movie did not go higher than 1. Like, I don't think that's ever happened.
Wow.
So with that
Who
said,
gave it a 1? Wait,
Brandon.
who gave it a 1? Oh.
Brandon. But usually he's in the millions, so that's low. Like that's super low.
Gotcha.
It is on the lower
been
side
low.
for me.
I'll be honest. That 1 is probably more of like that 1 from Brandon is more disrespect than my 0. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Brandon.
I do what I can to be a team player every once in a while, folks.
So Taylor, who has not seen the movie but has listened to this podcast, Taylor, for the guys out there, would you watch this movie based on what you've heard?
B.
No.
That's a big solid
Not
no.
a chance.
No elaborating, just flat no.
I'm not. The only thing that remotely interests me in this film is that is the Academy Awards and the money. No one brought up the money. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you
I
mentioned
forgot.
how much you paid. The budget was $22 million. It made $505 million.
Yeah.
That's like 40
crazy.
times the budget.
That's insane.
That's ridiculous. Like, there's a part of me that wants to know why someone, 3 months before I was born, thought this movie was really good. But after hearing
I think
you guys,
it's hard to put ourselves back then, man.
What's that?
I think it's hard for us to get back into the day of what your expectations were so much lower.
Yeah,
like in terms of what they
I
were
told my
today.
parents. I mentioned this to my parents because I was visiting them for the weekend, and I had to get back for this, and they're like, "Hey, what movie you guys doing?" I said, "Ghost." Like, "Oh, the Demi Moore one?" Like, I don't know. I haven't heard of it, but yeah, that was their response. That's all
People
they had to
loved
say.
it though. Like
My
they
mom
loved it.
this movie. Loved it. She was an art
So
teacher.
interesting.
The pottery thing.
We need to
much.
get somebody. We need to get somebody who like truly likes it and like not berate them. If they would have been on the show, we would have lost their friendship. But I think getting like finding. I mean, we've got time now. Let's find somebody who can like vouch for that. This is a good movie and they like it, and just let them say why they like it, and like free from us ruining them in it. So
that'd be good. Jones, thank you so much for doing this, man, and for wasting 2 hours of your life to watch this garbage for us. That's a friend, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Please bring
And
me
I do
back
think
for a
we need to
movie
bring
that's
him
worth
back.
watching.
Maybe. Yeah, let's get him.
sure.
Let's get him a list. Let's get him one.
For
Let's let him
sure,
have the cream of the crop. Let him make his choice. Because
I'd like to. Can I propose a movie? Can I throw it out there?
Absolutely.
Has that ever been done? The Walter Mitty. I would love to do Walter Mitty with you. That's a love
I don't
story.
even know
I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
You've never
I
seen
would
it?
love. I
Uh-huh.
love Walter Mitty.
Have you seen it, Nate?
no,
So that's a host that hasn't seen it. That's part of the rules, Bradley.
what is it? Walter Mitty?
The Secret Life
Yes.
of Walter Mitty.
Oh, I've heard of it. I've not seen it. Is it Jim?
Oh, that's a
it
Jim.
Jim
Ben
Carrey?
Stiller.
I'm thinking
Who'd you
of Lemony Snickets.
No, that
No.
it's Ben Stiller, right?
Is Lemony Snickets? Is that
Kristen
Jim Carrey?
Wiig.
That's Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I've heard of Secret Life of Walter Mitty. That's good.
Jones, we'll put that movie on, and when we do, you're back. That's coming. So
Yes.
thank you so much. Guys, I mean, it happened. We did it. We made it through. We've come out better for it.
Wow.
I think
Can I propose a question? I'd like to.
For sure.
So, do you like having had this podcast and enjoyed this hour or so together? Would you watch the movie again if we got to do this again? Like knowing now what we know, would you endure the movie so we could have this conversation and enjoy this?
like you mean do another conversation and watch it again? I'd never watch it again.
Sorry. Would you like? Is that like redeem watching it, having destroyed it? Yeah, that's what I mean.
For sure. Yeah,
think
this
so.
has been a lot of
Absolutely
fun.
not.
Maybe if nothing else, Brandon teaching us how to kiss.
Now, I will say that.
We didn't
Was
even,
the
guys. We didn't even get to Frenching yet, so that's a whole new world.
That's Walter Smitty right there. Walter Smitty.
Don't you worry, that'll be coming later. You just keep coming in.
Can you call
Ladies
me
and gentlemen,
some
this
tips
has been
for
a talk to
tonight?
remember. You may not remember the
Boy,
movie,
has it
but we
been.
hope you remember the talk. Bye.
For romance, somehow these dudes are our only hope.
I hope you do not remember the movie, but you know to talk. Bye.